Oh yeah, they are just going to use at least the second phase to try and protect the Deucer though. So is there any other carry you can expect, or at least maybe
Radiant
you feel like it's
team
just
ban.
carries you want to ban out?
Dire team ban.
Yeah, huh? Okay. Feels like they're just gonna drow, right? They've done it to Motivate.Trust once. Was it? Let me check if that was against a Medusa,
That
actually.
was. Oh no, it wasn't. It was against a PA, Chaos Knight, and DK core trio.
It's been a lot of Kyries banned out in that game,
10
but
seconds remaining.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it this game. I wonder if they're going to pick up with this
5
first pick of the next
seconds
phase
remaining.
something like, I don't know, an Abaddon, just something that's going to be able to stand on the front lines, be able to give a little bit of that, excuse me, counter initiation for the Stone Gaze, remove the silence, just be that bit of a tankier frontliner, um, and then allow the damage
Dire
component to
team
really
pick.
come through from the Sand King and the Hoodwink. And out the Nyx for themselves, huh?
Hmm. Interesting ban. Nyx Deucer doesn't sound like a very good lane. I don't. The only team we're seeing it run as a 4 is Army Geniuses when
10
Narman picks it up.
seconds remaining.
They played it as a 5 a couple of times, didn't they?
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like I remember it coming out.
No.
Maybe Patriots as well.
Oh, for Motivate, that's right,
Um,
yeah.
um. So what's really set to come through here? I mean, just yeah, I would Abaddon. I think the Abaddon is totally fine.
So you
Just more
just
stuff to protect the backline.
so you're just wanting a defensive position 5 that can maybe help your lanes and at
I don't
least
want to see an Oracle. I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
And I don't want to see an Omni Knight because if you're most likely going to be going with a Drow, you don't get great value out of that. You know, the cooldown is longer on the Heavenly Grace. You're not a strength hero, so it's not going to help you in that regard. Just Abaddon. Simple. Simple Dota.
Yeah, we see the I have to imagine Motivate in their second phase are going to go for some heroes that can get to the back line because that's something Deucer can struggle with.
Mirana.
They actually got the Mirana route, so it's a bit of an
5 hood, I guess.
yeah, which is a bit interesting. You get now. Do you go Abaddon if you're Motivate because you're looking at this? It's a
Lots of stuns.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of stuns, and you are reliant on
10
Sand King
seconds
Burrow
remaining.
into Arrow into Sharpshooter. Yes, it would put the DP in a different
5
role, but
seconds remaining. Dire team.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was thinking maybe they might Omni Knight as well, just because it's a Medusa, so it doesn't make the most use out of it. But if you were to run this Death Prophet as a core, you actually do like putting the Heavenly Grace onto the DP. Even though it's only going to save you once from a stun, you oftentimes put it on before a lot of
seconds
these
remaining.
engagements and just push on forward. But now, I'm kind of feeling like
5 seconds remaining.
you can honestly just commit even further into the damage. I kind of want to see a Chaos Knight come out here for Yangon. Just really strong burst damage early. Hoodwink plus a CK does a lot.
into Deucer though, Deucer's a very good matchup
Radiant
against it.
team ban.
I feel like you come online really early.
God damn, another Morphling
Not as
game.
big a fan of this Morphling.
Well, they don't really ways to kill it though. It's a no. You're gonna go Manta and you're okay. That's all you really need this game for the Morphling.
10
I'm pretty
seconds
worried about their
remaining.
lane. Hoodwink, Morphling against the Earth Spirit Death Prophet. I feel like is a pretty strong side lane. I think Motivate have decent side lanes already, so I think that's one advantage that I'd give to Radiant.
You think they're going to conquer on Motivate? I do. I think you can put it on both Masaros and Fearless just to give them that option to put the Death Prophet into either
10
lane. I think they still
seconds
need to have
remaining.
some level of flex, right? This could be a DP mid still.
5 seconds remaining.
You reckon it can be? Because I feel like if you go conquer Earth Spirit side lane, that's pretty awkward. Double melee. I'm always a big fan of range and melee, especially in side lanes. I don't see. I feel like that's even a free
Would you
lane.
call a conquer
Radiant
it's not a
team
true
ban.
melee though, right? You've got the Tidebringer.
Yeah, pseudo melee, I suppose.
And you're against a Morphling, right? Like, you have to be careful about staying too Agimorphed because you're just going to get chunked down by that Tidebringer. What else could they potentially look to go for, though?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, still has his
Multiple stances, I suppose.
Dire team
But Yangon are very reliant on this burrow again. So you can still go for like a spirit hero. Because if you don't get the burrow strike, then I feel like the other stuns are not landing. So Ember's the only one that's left. I do like the Puck Ban. Both Hor and Gacha Boy play a pretty decent Queen of Pain. So that could also be something that's considered.
Radiant team pick.
I was thinking, do they just, depending on what this last hero is, do they just Lina on Yangon? I feel like it's pretty decent.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think it matters whatever Motivate
10
pick. Like the Lina
seconds
would be
remaining.
very good into it. I feel like it's a Ember for Motivate, and then yeah,
5
you just go
seconds
Lina on
remaining.
Yangon, then you're happy with that.
Yeah. The Earth Spirit, though, you do have some level of rotation, but so does the Hoodwink and the Mirana. So, I feel like you just get Sand King up to his few levels. You know you're not going to get too many kills when you're in the lane against an Abaddon, so you just let him farm. Medusa Abaddon isn't a kill lane, so Hoodwink can make, or Mirana can make a lot of stuff happen
Dire
around that mid
team
lane.
pick.
Okay.
Well, it worked for them against MY this Tusk. Mid Tusk. But don't you just Lina into this? It's a lot of damage early on if Earth Spirit does rotate,
10
but
seconds
also you
remaining.
trade amazingly well.
You might go Ember just because for the chains
5
arrow is really
seconds
nice, and
remaining.
Tusk is eventually going to have Scepter, so the reposition is not as
Or
much of a
up to
factor.
yourself.
Wow.
You may now select
It's a good
your
OD
heroes.
game. Destroys the Dusa. Very good versus the Abaddon. Bow time's never a factor. Death Prophet likes to have sustained fights, and OD very
No
good into
HP on
that.
Earth Spirit and Tusk.
Yeah, it's a very, very good OD game.
Okay. I'm keen to see it. New hero, PogChamp. All right. Let's have a look at this. Mid Tusk, off lane Death Prophet. So it's going to be a Death Prophet Earth Spirit lane. Yeah, pretty strong. Tusk into a OD though. Not feeling anywhere near about as strong as that. I guess once the DP hits like level 3, maybe 4, you're safe to have Tigger look to rotate towards that mid lane. Just because, obviously as the OD, you are very vulnerable to ganks yourself. Not the greatest net worth to be able to start out, but they've got okay push. They've got okay team fight. They've got a lot of stuns on both teams. Like, neither of these drafts are bad. It's just a little bit unorthodox, which is what we like to see, especially towards the latter end of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like the point you mentioned as well, though, that OD can be vulnerable to rotations. I think if Hor ever uses Astral aggressively and Tigger's in the neighborhood, then Earth Spirit and Tusk can definitely close the distance and kill off the OD. Might even help out with like a water rune or even a power rune with Tigger rotating. So it's going to be eyes on how you can set yourselves up in regards to the creep equilibrium to really help out for these rotations. But I am going to give a slight edge to Yangon.
I mean, Odie doesn't really need the water runes, though, right? So it's not like he should be in that vulnerable position. He just wants to try and stay as close to the tower as possible. And you know that Gacha Boy is going to be shoving the lanes out, right? Because he's mid. He's not going to be using the tag team. He's going to have the ice shards and the snowball maxed out as much as possible. Ice shards first and foremost, just because you don't want to go up into melee range against an OD if you aren't going for a kill. So yeah, it just feels a little odd for sure as to how they're going to take this, but I feel like as long as the
Prepare
OD
for battle.
gets an early-ish, you would assume he's still going to go Meteor Hammer, but as long as you get an early-ish Ring of Health, I think you should be just fine. Yeah, I'll say Yangon, but not with any kind of confidence.
No points on the line. We'll just go Yangon.
Let me see how many I've got to spare.
Oh, a milli.
I have 1.2 million now. So I'll put on 900 points.
You might have to convince BTS to do something so you can use those points.
Yeah, well, how many is it to redeem for a free flight?
30 seconds to battle.
All right, let's see how we set ourselves up. Last series of the night. And it's going to be not really a true pro series, honestly, without Yangon or Motivate. It's been two teams that have looked very solid through a lot of pro series. I think Yangon more recently with the past 2 Pro Series. We've seen them have very good showings, but Motivate in the past have looked very good as well. So yeah, not having one of these 2 teams is going to be a
The
bit
battle
sad.
begins.
Yeah, for me, I know Motivate obviously had that hot streak. They've won a Pro Series before, but I'm always so impressed with how Yangon just seem to be able to turn up whenever they do participate in a Pro Series. You know, they play, I don't want to say above their level, but they certainly do a pretty damn good job in being competitive. Skill A actually waited until the daytime to go for that that little check to see if there was any observer ward, and because it was daytime, Bumbui could see him. So that's what actually caused the tower to hit him. So that's a sentry ward wasted. And these 2 guys want to make sure that they're staying away from that mid lane. I know it's the bane of a mid laner's existence to have people standing too close and leeching some of the experience over.
They'll rage on the microphone. Get the hell out of my lane. What are you doing? Go do something useful. Absolute scrubs. The egos on these position 2s. I tell you what, my oh my, they are. Yeah, they gotta.
Illegal.
It's alright. It'll come bite them in the bum one day.
Hopefully soon. They just got to remove bottle crowing altogether.
What do you mean bottle crowing? They did.
Refill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's like now they're telling you to go suicide in the lane so you can come back and refill my bottle. It's like, man, the balls on them. Just go die. Go give up first blood. Come on, it's worth the trade. Refill the bottle.
We can make a trade happen, you know, like I don't think supports should be level 6 at 10 minutes for the second siege creep wave. But no more being a salve fountain and no more bottle refills in exchange.
No. I like the level 6 though at 10 because if you have a really slow-paced lane, then at least support's getting level 6 often is a kill. Like Tigger's level 6 is a kill. Your Abaddon's definitely isn't, as we're actually going to see a little bit of damage on Zorain, but Masteros not continuing to go. Like level 6 on Hoodwink's a kill. Not really the Mirana, so...
But don't you want to see, I know it might not be the most exciting, but don't you want to see like slow Dota rewarded so you're not just all in on this death? You've been watching Eastern Europe. The amount of like Chen, Enchantress, Visage, 25-minute games ending is a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, but they've also got like multiple 50-minute games and then a 80-minute game recently, so... I don't know. It's Eastern Europe's definitely a different beast. Southeast Asia is supposed to be a different beast. You know, through the start of Division 1, people were speaking about the fast-paced meta, and then it started to slow down. I'm like, what's going on?
Or actually went and denied the water runes, saying, I'm an OD, I don't need that crap.
Giga Chad.
Back to the lane.
Up lane, Morphling in some trouble. Waveform doesn't get out of the Spirit Siphon, so it's going to continue to take some damage, but... does have some stick charges and a Tango still to play with. Do they give him the salve though?
Yep. He's still level 2, right? So it's just so slow to go into that full Agi form.
He's still... okay.
He's fine. I think this might be one of the... do I say slower paced games, to be honest? I mean, Motivate are going to be the ones happy about that, right? They want to make sure that Toy has plenty of time to be able to pick up some of this farm. Doing an okay job in the lane, but honestly, Sand King is getting far more than I was expecting. Certainly isn't a winning lane. It's basically make sure Toy doesn't die lane.
Yeah. That is the thing. And I think this is where Sand King thrives. If you have a lane, because you are not the greatest laner, so if you can have a time where freely farming, you're before level 4, you see RT's top of the last hits, and looks like he's actually going to be going Vanguard first item, which I don't particularly hate, especially with all the physical damage that Motivate have, but you also don't have the greatest way to defend towers. Like, Morphling can't do that, the OD can't put his body on the line, so might just act as a... like, you want to jump in and you don't want to be killed off, and I think the Vanguard will provide that.
Actually go on a Vanguard. I know his courier's waiting there at the secret shop, but like... could he be going a Lotus or something like that? Potentially.
No chance. No chance. It's a Vanguard. We were seeing it often, like a week and a half maybe, like Sand Kings were liking this Vanguard, and then I haven't really seen it too much lately.
And what, like just play basically
Boom
super
Boom
deep.
might be
and-
killed off. Starstorm only level 1, so the Abaddon's able to just get away.
Topside as well, though. There's a lot of trading going on. So going to be able to get away just in time. But yeah, I mean, if he picks up that Vanguard, then he just plays really aggressively, right? And if you make a rotation, it just takes way too much time to kill him. And of course, KSH dropping pretty low. OD, Morphling, they need a little bit of time to farm themselves. So it's like kind of like giving up one core's impact to enable the other two quite heavily. Even if it means the Medusa getting farm. It's like 2-for-1 trade, you'll take it.
There we go. We got the ready back. Lads on Motivate just needed a second to compose themselves. I wonder when we're going to start seeing some of the rotations come through from Skill Lay. He's actually starting to make his way over. Maybe scout out one of the runes. Yep, pick up the bounty. Second one's going to spawn in 30. I'd really want Radiant to ward their own jungle by the outpost because that's kind of the route that the Mirana needs to take to connect to mid.
I agree with that.
Top lane, Zorin should end up going down, so Leaks Black Motivate find their first kill. The OD was actually thinking about TPing top. He just had the meteor hammer delivered, so he was looking for a rebuttal, but oh, what? Wasn't expecting the 3 points in the Crypt Swarm. Mastros showing that his burst was enough to go through the Morphling.
Yeah, really wanting to play chicken with him a little bit there. Obviously, walking forward, you don't expect that to happen, especially when you know he's got the Urn of Shadows. So the fact that he didn't use that onto him, the second you get earned, you're going to start strength morphing, right? But instead, just holding forward and having faith in the third point in the crypt gets him the kill.
Gotcha, boy. They had the ward on the high ground, so they did see Zorain TP in and smoke. So nicely played from Gotcha Boy, pops the smoke, and maybe is a bit of a deterrent to stop him from going to block up the Ancients as Toy narrowly evades the arrow.
They won't be able to protect this siege. Actually, no, never mind. RT, he's going to be the one with the Vanguard tanking up a lot of those right clicks. I'm kind of surprised that he backed off on it. Like, sure, you want that siege creep to stay alive.
Eyes on mid. Here we go. Tigger's going to try and put his own body on the line to break the combo. And, well, in fact, it's off the mark regardless. Oops, and it is Eclipse doing a lot of damage here to hold back Motivate, but it will not matter. Boom Booey's rotation means that Gotcha Boy can still stay around to fight. I don't think they're going to be able to kill the Tusk or the Skill Lay. Feeling like he can leap on forward. He's out of mana now, so Gotcha Boy. 3 seconds into the shards. The good old right clicks can do the trick. A double kill for the Tusk.
Some real, like, I don't even want to call them mechanical or just decision-making mistakes coming through from Yangon Galacticos. You know, the bottom lane not having that tower being tanked up by the Sand King. Again, this isn't a kill lane. Medusa and Abaddon is not a kill lane. So you can afford to tank up a lot of those right clicks. And all he needed to do was do that for another 10 or so seconds. It would have allowed the creep wave to be there. He would have moved on forward, tanked up the next one. And that probably prevents the Abaddon from making that rotation towards the mid lane. He also used a really early Sanity's Eclipse as well. I know the Earth Spirit and the Tusk don't have the highest total mana pool, but they basically had full mana at the time, so could have certainly taken a whole lot more. The rotation top though, but so is Motivate.
Oh, in trouble. Astral use, and the Ode should be killed off. Beautifully played from Tigger. Cancels the Meteor, and Master's even going to charge up the Exo. So they would have got the kill there regardless. Unfortunately, the tower's going to get it, so they'll split the net worth, but they're looking to try and transition this now into a tier 1.
And they've still got the net worth lead somehow, even after all of these big misplays in my eyes. Like, they should be a few thousand ahead. So points betters, don't blame me. Blame the players.
His tower's getting chunked down. Masteros beautifully played, and there we go. First Exo. He's even going for the Spirit Vessel, which he has already completed. It's a pretty good Spirit Vessel game against the Morphling in particular, but I'd say even the Sand King, considering he has itemized for the Vanguard.
Punching the courier, making sure to take it out there was Gotcha Boy, and well, any kind of time that you can steal away a lot of these stacks, it's not exactly where RT wants to be, but certainly a Morphling super capable of clearing those out, considering he went for this early Morbid Mask.
Bit scary as well, because this is 2 games now where we've seen the Gacha Boy Tuscan. They seem to be playing really well around it early. So I wonder just, how do you feel like they can continue with this strong start for Gacha Boy?
The one that they need to put a lot of emphasis on is the OD, right? Like, you can't let OD be that secondary
Radiant's
save.
bottom
That
tower is under
again,
attack.
it's still a good OD game. All of these low mana heroes, so you got to make sure he's put into the bin
Dire's
before he's
middle
able to
tower
build up
is
a lot
under
of that
attack.
intelligence through the astral imprisonment steals. And I feel like the predictive rotations have been pretty good so far on Motivate.Trust to know exactly where Hall wants to be playing.
Getting a lot of map control out, but the same with Yangon Galacticos, I suppose. Like, they have a very minimal net worth lead. Sanking along with the Morphling, sitting pretty comfortable in the net worth. And I imagine we might have a bit more of a slower paced one until the blink is complete on the Sanking. That's what you're really looking for to try and start making these fights occur. You know, the blink into the sharpshooter or the blink into the arrow.
Defensive wards
Radiant's
placed down
middle
by
tower
Motivate.Trust
is under
as well.
attack.
So really just wanting to protect the Medusa, realizing that, look, we can make all the perfect rotations that we want early on, but at the end of the day, Toy is who we've banked our draft on with that first phase pick. He's the one that we need to make sure we're protecting with a farm. Nice denies coming through by Skille there. Able to last hit a Medusa 3 times in a row.
Like you said, defensive wards, so it means that Toy is freely farming, and Yangon are okay with this, it seems. But are you in agreement that they can maybe deal with the Morphling to the later stages, or maybe have... Oh, nice silence from Masaros. And the Death Prophets look really good to start the game, but Yangon Galacticos, they're going to come into the area to try and defend.
Dire's structures
I don't know if you can respond to this as RT. He's kind of getting revealed a little bit here. Stops the channel.
Oh, there we go. They need a way to be able to cancel the hammer. They do it the last second. Oh, Tigger, beautiful once again, but still the AoE magic damage. It's something that Motivate cannot deal with at this stage of the game without the BKBs. There's 3 are being killed off, and Boom Boo is going to join his friends in the grave as Hawk gets the double, and they successfully defend their tower.
Didn't hate that rotation from Motivate, right? Like, they made a lot of good things happen, especially with the snowball to be able to stop the chain lockdown coming through there, but just stacking up on top of each other a little bit too much meant that double burrow strike was their undoing. Still might get the mid tier 1 tower, at the very least put it into deny range. So open up the map a little bit more for themselves to be able to play around. They want to just go again, though. You've got a Tusk, thrives on that early map presence, and no sanities, no epicenter, no moonlight shadow for a little bit. But it really doesn't feel like... Tusk, he's got the Ogre Axe coming out to him, so just wanting to be a little bit tankier so that he doesn't have to worry so much about all of those stuns and controls. Be that frontliner in addition to Tigger, who's also going for his own BKB, but of course, it'll be much longer until he reaches that point. Astros also queued up the BKB.
Yeah, BKB is going to be very important for them this game. We saw what happened mid. The abilities were able to be casted, and Motivate kind of just walked a little bit too far into the tower. So we'll see if they can butt their heads again, as this time Boom Boo is got a pretty solid ward set up to the north of this tier 1 tower. But in fact, they're actually going for Mastros instead, as a nice blink reveal, and well, there's the combo. Often we see the Sand King with the Mirana, or Sand King with the Hoodwink, but never paired together. And well, it's proving if you get one burrow strike, then any target will be killed off, as RT still will be put in the grave. So some revenge for Motivate. We'll make him work for it though, but Gacha Boy is going to love the little influx of gold. Okay, Boom Boo instead. KSH is loving life though. Look at him. Top of the net worth, farming up the Ancients, has really been uncontested so far.
Yeah, and it's very important for him to get into that Manta style, just to be able to fight into this Magnetize, into the silence coming through from the Death Prophet as well. You never want to be caught in full Agi form. Looks like it's going to be a BKB response coming through from Hor here. Wouldn't hate to see him buy the Ogre Axe now, just because it's going to build into both the Ags and the BKB components, so why not just spend your unreliable gold?
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, again, though, it's still both carries being untouched. We just brought up KSH, and now just looking at Toy with how much farm he's getting. It's going to be a first item Manta style here for the Medusa. Already they're kind of just playing around. Like, maybe you've got Exo now to work with if you want to think about taking a fight, but no real objectives to claim. Or they might be able to take Roche, honestly. 1 point in Curse, 2 points in Tag Team with Exo. If they win a fight around there, I think they could take it.
Yeah, I think they might just want to shove these lanes out a little bit first. You can see Toy looking to do so in the mid lane, clear out that siege creep so that there's no tower threat for themselves. Then look to start to make a bit of a rotation up towards the top side of the map. See, that's where Tigger and Gacha Boy are already kind of set up, and Boom Boy is just going to be holding hands with Toy for the foreseeable future until he's got that Manta style, you would think. But they're very different Manta styles, the ones that he's looking to get, as well as the Morphlings one, right? Morphling is to enable fighting, Medusa's is to enable her to just extend that net worth lead even further.
Definitely got to help out with shoving out the lanes as well, which would be important. Yangon, if you have the lanes in a position where it's on your side of the map, then you can't really get aggressive like they're trying to do now off the back of the Sand King haste. But already have full information of this, and they got to be cautious because Motivate, they're coming in the neighborhood. Great reactions in the blink, and Zorain is off the mark with the shards, and the Scary movement speed is enough to evade from the attempt. So no one's dying once again.
Oh, never mind. Skill A is revealing that they have used the Moonlight Shadow there.
And Boo Boo is on point with the D ward so far this game.
And is that cosmetic pay to lose?
Yo, hang on. Sorry, Morph's going Ags. What?
For the Sand King?
No. That's not that anymore, remember? It's
yeah, true.
The reason why you don't remember is because
it's... I have never
that's
seen
why.
this.
That's literally why, because no one goes for it, and they don't know when to. Hang on.
I'm going to need to read this.
Yeah, same. No, I'm reading it too. So okay, well, Morphling will still... It reduces replica cooldown by 20 seconds, so that's nice. But if they are a particular strength, agi, or intelligence, Morphling for strength, he's going to steal status resistance, is it? Yeah, status resistance, attack speed for agi, and then spell amp for intel.
A movement speed for agi.
Sure it's movement? It says attack speed. What are you looking at?
So in the number text, it says attack speed. In the written text above, it says movement speed. So thank you, Gabe.
Interesting. Yeah, I see.
I would assume it's attack speed.
Yeah.
Because
Movement
a little bit of
would
movement speed.
would be... Dude, that'd be so bad. So...
I'm assuming he wants to like morph into the Tusk.
You reckon?
I'd say Tusk, yeah.
I was going to say, do you go for Dusa, go Diffusal, and just have all this attack speed and beat in? But it looks like he's going Scardy next. So RT, charging up the epicenter. Mastros is playing with Boom Booing nearby. So they're able to break the combination. Mastros isn't dead until the Sanity is dropped on the dome, and Yangon Galacticos bring all 5 heroes to take the skirmish, and well, they'll come out on top.
Kind of pushing it a
Nice
little bit
shards.
here.
Okay, Gotcha Boy. On point with the shard to lock RT into the tree line. He's got Blink up.
He's out of the range.
No way. RT makes it out, and maybe they're going to be eyeing up the Deucer. Arrow into the bushwhack. Deucer's gone. KSH with a triple. And then they pull back. So more numbers firmly puts into a body bag. Gotcha Boy, though, protect with the BKB for the short duration. They're just going to turn to the Abaddon instead. Now back to the toss they go as Gotcha Boy, oh no, gives an Ultra out to KSH, and he wants the last target for a Rampage, but he won't find it.
They will find a tier 2 tower, though. Glyph expended when they went for that super deep dive. It still is 19 minutes, so that multi-shot was really effective at dealing a good portion of damage, but just not enough. And yeah, that's a dieback. That's going to be a 7k net worth lead now moving over to Yangon Galacticos, they'll be able to take away the jungle, and as a Medusa, you don't want your side of the map taken away this quickly.
Man, I'm really trying to look at who the Morphling's got to replicate.
I think it's the Tusk.
Okay.
Like, don't you want to just, like, seal off avenues for the fight, so you're going to get great value out of the Sanities, get great value out of the Epicenter, even things like Bushwhack, right?
I sure. But, like, the Ags is for the extra, what it provides you. Whether that be...
It's pretty nice.
It definitely is, definitely. So your justification was for the Tusk abilities instead of the justification for...
Oh, I mean, like, I think it's the best strength hero on their lineup to be able to replicate it too. I could see the Deucer as well, of course.
Yeah, I wonder if Earth Spirit's a consideration. We've seen a lot of the your own team, the Morph Earth Spirit. Well, hopefully we'll find out because they scanned Roche, so they know what's occurring. Uh-oh, they have Epi.
As well.
Oh god, they've got Epi. They're all grouped up. This is not going to be good for Motivate. The damage still not enough as no one follows up. Abaddon's able to take the arrow. Roche is falling to all the AoE damage, so Gacha Boy picks up the Aegis, but KSH is into the middle, playing around with the Deucer. Split shot, turning them all to stone. Early send is clipped, but KSH is out of mana. Soon to be out to health as well if Motivate can close the distance, but the double Astral to hold them back. But it doesn't matter. Aegis claimed. Motivate, can they get more out of this though? Tigger doesn't have anyone behind him. Oh no, you lost the Deucer early. You didn't have any damage to follow up, but now Yangon trying to eye up Gacha Boy, but they will not run into him.
So much mana right now on Hor. Like, look at that. The Tusk was basically full mana when he used the Sanities, and he still took so much just because of the max HP difference.
Get out.
You don't have the strongest Roshing lineup, so I don't think
Yangon
hates that. The fact that they were able to instantly remove the Aegis from the equation, they're going to be feeling pretty positive about all of that. Didn't die as well on KSH. Did he have the Ags prior to that fight?
He did. He used it on the Deucer.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know if that's going to continue to be his target, but one thing I noticed was that, of course, the Mystic Snake turned everyone to stone for a little bit. So, see if that's something he continues to think of.
I forgot about that aspect. All right, Deuce is well ahead now. Although the kick is kind of nice.
Sure, just kick Deucer away. KSH, the smoke does fall behind. They're actually going around. Oh, I like this play. I like this a lot.
Oh, they're all clumped up again.
Oh, no. Zorain gives him information. RT, he pounces on the opportunity. They'll get rid of Tigger. But Deucer's stuck in the middle. Stone Gaze, but he won't be able to retreat. Beautifully done from Hor. How can they set themselves up for afterwards? Still with a Bushwhack and Toya, there's nothing he can do. Mana's completely taken care of, and Deuce is gone. Oh, the health pool just got ripped apart. Tigger buys back, but there's nothing he will get out of this investment.
And another buyback being used for not too much effect. Previously, it was the Abaddon for that bottom tier 2. Now it's the Earth Spirit just coming back after the Deuce is dead. Definitely not when you want to be using it. It's going to delay his own BKB so much further. A few of these decision-making mistakes now coming out from Motivate.Trust after a pretty solid laning stage for them. Even just little things like not glyphing that tower. They had it, and it was a tier 1 tower, so it would have just been refreshed. Instead, it feels like you're under that extra 5 or so seconds of pressure as we've got a Blink Dagger now coming out for the OD, enabling him to go in onto those backlines. It's very important. They almost had the save components there because of Bumbui. Needs to make sure he's catching out that Abaddon with the Astral Imprisonment.
The prize is mine.
Yeah, we are really seeing the difficulty of Motivate's draft to start fights, which...
They are clumping together a lot against a Sand King and a Hoodwink, though. Like, I'm not sure what the point is. Especially when they didn't have vision at the time. in the general vicinity. Double damage on Morphling, you'll have to see it.
Bye-bye tower.
And once he gets his Skadi, this game becomes even harder than it already is. He reached up to his level 20 as well, so that waveform attacking targets going to be very nice for him. Of course, already just having the casual Morbid Mask and all outer towers removed, even without the Aegis, is such a big achievement to be able to have.
Look at this. They're a little bit too early. It's a nice read though on Dire. Toy smoked up to try and move to the Ancients.
To farm at all.
Yeah. It was a really cool understanding from Yangon. If they did it 5 seconds after, then they would have scanned red and know exactly where Toy was.
I wonder how long he could stay here. I mean, he's potentially going to try and cut this next wave, or at least use his illusions to do the dirty work. Not going to be able to scout out the Mirana courier, but just with that one creep, you got to make sure it's not going underneath the tier 3 tower. Okay, there we go. Just using the illusions to cut.
Okay.
I mean, he's still going to kind of feed it away, though.
That's big, though. You get a little bit of map control. It stems the pressure. Like, yes, they've already taken tier 2 towers, but now bot, someone's going to be forced to go back. Otherwise, you would have given a tier 1 up because of the catapult. So it's a very minor thing, but now it's almost like a reset on the map.
Still, though, Lotus, pretty damn effective to be able to have. Just until that OD gets BKB. It's very important to just enable him to chain cast constantly, because the stuns aren't amazing on Motivate.Trust.
Top lane. The Gacha boy's in trouble. Nice blink call. Was already used his, so we won't be able to chase through the tree line.
Using the Meteor Hammer for scouting. Not going to be able to find him, though. Boy, able to continue to cut the wave. So, yeah, like you said, they're doing a pretty good job so far. Just stalling the game out that tiny bit further.
Hang on. Toy? Sharpshooter's out. He should be fine.
Oh, that's a big expenditure coming through. I mean, the thing is, he is so close to being able to pick up that Skadi. And, you know, Dusa defending higher ground with Skadi, it's a very different beast from what they've previously had to have as their capabilities. RT just constantly chang.
Oh, he went. Oh, yeah. Well deserved. Well deserved. I'm sick of Sand King players charging Epi and absolutely destroying my ears.
I think they saw it as well. They're picking him out.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They're gonna go. KSH is pretty healthy though with the strength morph. Waveform out to the side. They're gonna continue to dive deeper. Do you just full reset on Yangon? What's the play? Knowing that RT can't get the big combo with the backline. Oh, that's where the combo is dropped. Spirit killed off with ease, a 1-for-1 trade, and you just reset. Exo used, and you're happy.
Yeah, I don't think him having the epicenter would have changed too much about that, because, you know, BKBs were used. He ended up dying. It doesn't help your survivability at all. So, no harm, no foul, but like you said, it always is a little bit good to see that sort of thing happen, as OD also picks up the Psychic Headband. So just helping boost him up a little further. Actually going for the Aether Lens instead of the BKB instead. Yep, like you said, without the Exorcism, they just feel so much more confident in being able to push on in.
KSH, she's on to Gacha Boy. Photic Shield to protect him once again. The Lotus Orb might send him back. What's going to go on now? He can, I believe.
He's coming back.
He's coming back in. Oh yeah, you can use abilities afterwards.
Yeah.
In, I should say, yeah. Still, you can't really deal with the Morphling when he's got this Manta style. It's kind of the big issue that Motivate have. Maybe you could catch him off guard with the Egg Shot on Mastros, but he's not even considering going down that route. And I don't blame him, honestly.
Just this high ground Medusa that's really causing them a little bit of grief now. How close are we to a bunch of different items? I don't think you'll have BKB for the next push on Hor, but you'll have it for Sand King. Getting closer to the Satanic as well for the Morphling, so it means that you can be even more sparing with his use of the Manta style. It's not having to worry about the silence quite as much. 2 silences. Nearly got the decoy available for Zorain as well, providing that valuable information, even if it's just for vision purposes to allow you to hit up onto that high ground. So it's kind of nice.
Decoy's quite the nuisance. There's nothing you can do about it. Send it on forward. Free stun, follow-up stun afterwards. Look, Toya once again, man, they tried to smoke out to get to their ancients.
Gonna do it, but the thing is, RT is looking to take away that area for himself first and foremost. The BKB for himself, though. Actually, locking up the hard camp nearly. Oh, never mind.
Earth's bounty.
But they want some neutral items, though, for Motivate.Trust. I believe they've only found 2. Toya with the Paladin Sword, so one of the better tier 3s for him to have.
The OD20 talent is pretty devastating against this Motivate lineup. Like, the Sanity's Eclipse mana difference multiplier against Tusk Earth Spirit is a crap ton of damage.
Yeah.
Even without any mana stolen from using the Astral Imprisonment. He's already got, what, 2,700 mana? And have a look at a Tusk. He's got 840 max.
Delay's the name of the game, but I like the route Medusa's at least going down. It's damage, because it feels like the rest of the team's not really providing that, and you're to the same way you're fully reliant on her to be this raid boss on the higher ground, where it's just doing so much damage that's going to prevent them from moving up.
They even go with the level 20 talent as well, or the Medusa, right? Like, do you need the extra Mystic Snake bounces just to be able to have a little bit more survivability? Because we've seen every single time she's been popping the Stone Gaze, without that BKB, instantly gets Astraled.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Roshan as well being claimed.
They didn't have to use the double damage rune for it as well. So if they can pop a smoke and take a fight by their high ground ward, which Zorain will do, you gotta get out, Motivate.
I'm gonna give this shard over to, I'd imagine it's gonna be the Hoodwink. Yeah, just gives him it for free. Didn't end up buying it up previously. Actually, didn't even realize that the OD shard gave an additional
Extra,
5% mana capacity steal. Yeah.
All right, here we go. KSH got a little bit of double damage left. Oh, don't make that same mistake again, RT. I'm watching you. Gotcha, boy. Okay. But KSH is not going to be killed off, and now RT jumps. Early use of the BKB from RT. Nothing crazy.
Use the Satanic there on KSH.
Astros might be in
a little careful. You just take the racks though, right?
They're looking to force something early. But KSH is holding the abilities. Nice combination as Horde jumps in. Sanity's dropped. There's no buyback available for the Tusk, and they're going to stand their ground behind the Morphling, who actually wants to go aggressively under the tier 4 towers. Masteros is killed off. They've kited the Stone Gaze. Now they're set up after he pops out. As well, they let the Deucer in the pool, but Yangon show that they have plenty of answers to bring him down.
Could have trusted the gut. There's 900 points.
God damn
They're
it.
not going to result in quite as much, but at the end of the day, isn't being right what matters. As Yangon looking to close this one out. Very solid once they got out of that laning stage there on the back of it. A few little cheeky mistakes, but yeah, it did feel like Motivate.Trust was very one-dimensional. Gonna try and pop everything for this last-ditch attempt, but no BKB means that they're probably just going to keep him inside this Astral, right?
We jump in. Force back inside the base, but with the throne exposed, you still don't have your do, so that's all her damage, and even with the Exo, it's only tickling Yangon Galacticos. As they're just juking targets, Ticker's in, but he's really just feeding lives. They get the kill, and then back to the objectives they go. Archer's up, let's see what it can do. Kills off RT. But the Morphling still playing around with the Aegis, so he can just turn his attention back towards the throne, and there is nothing they can do. It's with the throne popping, secures Yangon Galacticos their game 1 victory.
Very nice. Very, very well executed draft. Really punishing with that OD, all of the low mana in particular. And unfortunately, there's only so much that you can do on Bumbui, right? They had so much to look to stun people up. You might be able to get the one save, but beyond that, it was just way too challenging, particularly once OD picked up that Aghanim Scepter. It was a really nice performance coming out from Hor in particular. And honestly, even KSH, right? It was one of the heroes that they do look to prioritize a little bit more than a lot of other teams, even prior to this most recent patch when you and I don't really like the morph. But clearly, he's able to make it work outside of that kill in the lane to Masros. He didn't die a single time.
Yeah, for Yangon, they're now 1 game away of qualifying into phase 2. We'll see if Motivate, however, can stem this momentum and send us to at least a full game 3 and the full best of 3 as well. But we'll find out after the break.